Hey everybody, welcome back to another Tuesday tapping session with me. I'm Dr. Angie Anderson, and I am so very thankful for your participation and attendance last week. I was very proud how many people actually joined me. So hopefully this will be a good thing we can do together each and every week. So if you don't know what emotional freedom technique is, or you would like to have a basic review, go back to last week's and join in on that one so that you can kind of understand. But you don't really have to have much of an understanding, because each and every week when I come to you, we are going to go through the basic tapping series, and I will be your guide, and hopefully you'll just be able to listen to me and go right along with it. So today we are going to tap out frustration. So how many times do we experience those little tiny irritants in our lives that bring frustration out, and it's just eating away at us, and sometimes it gets to the point of where we blow up, we lose our authenticity, or we just are not very mindful of our approach because we are so frustrated with things. So I want us to take a moment to practice emotional freedom technique, also known as the tapping cure, to get rid of that frustration in a very healthy way. So this can be a coping mechanism to take a moment to practice the pause. So if you are one of my clients currently or in the past, you know that I am a firm believer in practicing the pause. Before we say or do anything, it's important to think. So the think is an acronym. Is it truth? Is it helpful to the process? Is it intelligent or inspirational, depending on whichever one you like to use the I? And then is it necessary? And then am I being kind to myself and in my approach? So with this tapping series, I'm going to invite you to think about a time recently that you experienced deep down frustration. So as you bring that situation into your mind, I would like to invite you to get comfortable in your space. You can sit in a chair, you can stand, or you can join me in a reclined position. So as you take a moment, you can always open your eyes and follow along with me, or you can close your eyes and let my voice be your guide. So as you think about this situation, I would like for you to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. So when you put yourself in that situation, how much were you, mind, body, and spirit, impacted by this sense of experience of frustration? So as you get that in your mind, I would like for you to think about that. So for the basic tapping series, we're just going to start gently tapping on the crown of our head. So just naturally focusing on your breath in and out through your nose, and then just think about that situation, that sensation of being frustrated, maybe being mindful of what your mindset was. What was the thoughts that were coming into that situation internally? What was your script that was playing in your head? And then take a moment to go to the third eye space with the middle finger right in the center of the forehead, your forefinger and your ring finger slightly above your eyebrows. So take a moment to right here in the third eye space, we want to be thinking about being open-minded. So in this situation, as you're tapping on that frustration, what might have been some alternative circumstances in regard to that? When we go into that toxic emotion of frustration, it's very hard to think about the gray area, and we fall in black and white, stinking thinking. So take a moment to acknowledge where you might have been a little bit more open-minded in that situation. And then when you're ready, I would like to invite you to go to the side of the eye right above the cheek. So when you are tapping, if you rate higher than a 5, then I would invite you to go to both hands. But if you're driving, you can go to one hand. You can switch sides, whatever feels most comfortable for you. And as we tap there, I would like to invite you in that situation. What might you have seen a little clearly if you had not been stuck in that rigid, fixed mindset? And then take a moment to go to the center of your cheek. This is an area, a meridian, an acupressure point that goes straight to the belly. So here, when I'm tapping, I like to think about listening to the gut or feeling the sensation in your gut. So when you're there and you're experiencing frustration, what might that feel like for you? Go ahead and breathe into that. Listening to our gut is such a key component of our everyday walk. And then we're going to go right above the lip. Here I'd like to invite you to think about how you might be a little bit more mindful of your words when you are in that frustration, when you're in that sensation of just being overwhelmed with that toxic emotion, so that we can be a little bit more mindful of our approach. Because it's important for us to sometimes speak our truth, but we have to be mindful of how we might say it. And then let's go ahead and go down to the chin, continuing to be mindful of how we might rephrase our words, how we might be mindful of our approach there. And then I'm going to take you to the collarbone. So this is that space directly below your collarbone on the chest. Again, one hand or two hands, depending on how you're feeling and how you rated yourself. So this is an empowering sensation. So as we tap here in your situation of that frustration, I would like to invite you to think about how you can be a little stronger, how you can be a little less passive, and how you can be confident in your approach. And then go right up underneath the rib cage again. Take a moment to feel a little bit of that karate chop, which is between the finger and the pinky finger and your wrist. And then you're just going to go right up underneath the rib cage. So relax your shoulders here. You're going to lift up the ribs. So this is tapping into a little bit more empowerment and confidence as well. So go ahead and do each meridian as you're tapping, as long as it feels good. So take a moment to relax. We're going to take a big cleansing breath in and then slowly exhale. And then I would like to invite you to close your eyes if they're not already closed, or bring them soft, and take a moment just to see what's happening. As you put yourself back in that frustration, into that situation, how are you feeling now with that energy charge, that emotional charge, your emotional regulation? So if you are faced with something similar or something new that triggers your frustration, I would like to invite you to come back to the tapping series, tap on any meridian or acupressure point that you feel is speaking to you in the moment, and practice the pause. So I hope everyone's doing well. Stay healthy, stay well. And as always, happy tapping.